Good afternoon. Welcome back to the show. James Rule XRP, Thursday, October the 30th, 2025. Tomorrow's Halloween. I have been running the roads today. I've been taking care of things. It's a little bit cooler. The sun is shining. I feel good. And we're going to cover several topics today. We're going to get excited. Yeah, the market's down. Yeah, you're looking at your portfolio right now and you're going, why is it in the negative? Why is this happening to me? Oh, poor me. I've been in this a month and everything's in the negative. People, you got to be patient. This is not a casino. This is not a get rich quick scheme. This is a grow with the technology, just like us OGs grew with the internet. I remember my first email address. And I remember getting on the internet. I remember having a dial-up modem. I remember before high-speed internet, before cell phones and all that, that just the basics. We were learning. We could send an email. We had pagers. We didn't have cell phones. So the technology is starting to catch up. And as you will see in this video today, the big players like JPMorgan and BlackRock are now admitting that blockchain technology is going to be used in their payment rails, people. So things are happening behind closed doors. Things are happening behind closed doors that we don't know about. And faces are going to melt once they open up these payment streams, once everything comes to fruition. So looking at your portfolio today, set your phone down. Stop looking at it every 3 minutes. Everything's going to be all right. Today's episode is sponsored by ELLIPAL. ELLIPAL is now in my YouTube store. They offer cold hardware wallets. They're air-gapped. They never touch the internet. There is the ELLIPAL Titan 2.0, and there's also the ELLIPAL card, which comes with a device that creates your wallets on the internet. They have given me 2 ELLIPAL Titan 2.0s, and they have given me 2 ELLIPAL cards to give away to the public. I'm going to be looking at that next week, so stay tuned. In the meantime, check out the link below, check out the discounts, and tell them James Rule XRP sent you by. All right, look at crypto numbers. CoinGecko. We're down to $3.68 trillion. Bitcoin is down to $106,000. Ethereum is down to $3,700. XRP is down to $2.41. Back up the truck, people. Stop complaining. I mean, I'm out of dip money. I've been dipping for the past couple months, and I finally ran out of dip money. I have enough cash on the side to cover me with bills and, cover utilities and food and all that, but I'm out of dip money. So if you still have dip money and you're buying the 241 XRP and it keeps dropping, that's okay. You're getting it below $3, people, and things are going to happen that are going to melt faces. Let's go ahead and get into it. Bitpanda, this was announced today. New on Bitpanda, Ripple USD, RLUSD, a USD-backed stablecoin from Ripple. 1-to-1 USD backed with monthly attestations, built for cross-border payments and real-time settlement, issued on Ethereum and the XRP ledger. Start trading RLUSD now on Bitpanda. I don't use Bitpanda, but congratulations, Bitpanda. So yesterday, I finally got to watch this morning. Jenna and Lady K, Jenna had an amazing interview with Lady K. Lady K runs an XRPL node, and they talked about XRPL Validators 101. These ladies here are pro crypto. They're learning, they're educating, and I think it's awesome. And they're wonderful players in the community. I'm going to leave a link to this below. Be sure to check it out in its entirety. And I'll leave this link as well, xrpscan.com/validators. It shows all of the current validators running on top of the XRP ledger. All of these nodes, all of these validators go in and vote on transactions. It measures transactions. It records the history of transactions. And all of these nodes and validators get to vote on new amendments. As you can see here at the top of the page, you have amendments, you have tokens, automated market makers, metrics, validators, amendments. I'll leave a copy of it below so you can tear it down and you can see all the different nodes and all the versions. The 2.6.1 is the current version. All these others have not caught up yet, but that's okay because everything is running smoothly on top of the decentralized XRP Ledger people. I had the honor of being on the show with Melissa yesterday on the Dipito show, and we talked about crypto scams, and we had a good time. It was like a 2-hour interview, and I dropped my microphone, and I had to hook my microphone back up to the server. You know, we're human. We go through things, we talk about things, we cut up, and I really had a great time getting this out to the public, because I always talk about scams. I always talk about different things. And after that, we had a Spaces on X where you can come in and ask questions, and we chatted for about another hour or so. Melissa, I want to thank y'all for having me on the show. I'll leave a copy to the video below, and you can check it out yourself. Also, I created an expert page here a couple of weeks ago, and you can leave me an XRP coffee or a Zalhow coffee, or read my blog. This is the first blog I posted, Common Crypto Scams to Avoid. It breaks down all the crypto scams. I put some graphics on there. So I'm really excited that I'm going to be able to share blogs with the public here on my expert page. You can get an expert page of your own, put all your socials on here. It's just the basics right now. I want to thank Hodor for buying me a coffee with a 100 Zahao. So thank you very much. Let's keep going. Okay, this is where we get into the nitty gritty. This is where we start seeing panels from yesterday, and it's unbelievable that the Larry Finks, the Jamie Dimons, you know, Larry Fink with BlackRock, Jamie Dimon with JPMorgan, are starting to let us know that blockchain is real. And right here, Larry Fink states that we're not talking about it enough. Most countries aren't ready for what's coming. The future of finance is tokenized. Listen to this.
I would say the biggest question from central banks is, what is the role of tokenization and digitization? How quickly should they think about digitizing their own currency? What does that mean for the role of the dollar? If every currency digitizes and we have, what does that mean for bank payments? What does that mean for the payment companies like MasterCard and Visa? All these are being questioned right now. I think we spend so much time talking about AI. We're not spending enough time talking about how quickly we're going to tokenize every financial asset, and the opportunity we're going to have a digital wallet and moving, ETFs and other things through a digital wallet. And I think that's going to happen worldwide very rapidly. And I think most countries are ill prepared for that and underappreciate how technology is changing that. Not unlike how technology is changing AI and other things. It will be changing the technology around the plumbing of finance.
Wow. 5 years ago, he would not have said this, the monopolies with the banks and the government and all that stuff. 5 years ago, he would not be talking about this. And how many people in the audience on that video I just showed you were checking their crypto balances? How many people in the audience were checking their crypto balances as this conversation happened? So one more step here. Sandy Call is going to be at Ripple Swell, people. She is with Franklin Templeton Digital Assets. She talks about a wallet that is going to tokenize everything that you own. Have a listen to this 1 minute and 17-second clip.
In the coming Better Living Through Investing era, we're going to see technology drive a super important evolution in the role of the advisor.
Technology has always been a part of the solutions when you think about the way an advisor engages, but technology has become so much more sophisticated.
In the future, I'm going to have a cryptographically protected wallet. And that wallet is truly going to become my one container for my financial life.
You can tokenize the entire portfolio so that now you're delivering a single token back to a client that represents their beliefs.
Just like my credit card can give me reward points, and I can use those reward points to do things in my life, my investment portfolio will start to provide me those same kinds of benefits and perks.
I think better living through investing means investing in everyday life. Like everything that you're doing can have an investment component to it.
Instead of just thinking about how can they optimize my investment portfolio, the advisor needs to think about how can they optimize every financial asset I have.
Woo, it's coming, people. It's coming. And think about when you start getting crypto bonuses in your tokenized wallet, and when your stocks become tokenized, and when everything that you own becomes tokenized, and you can trade and you can move in real time, all of these different forms of value, and you could loan out your digital assets and you can make yield and all that. I mean, it's coming, people. And it's kind of overwhelming right now, but we're in the digital age. And when Sandy Call and other individuals start talking about tokenization, you better get ready. Here is the FranklinTempleton.com website, November 5th, 2024, the future of investing. It kind of breaks down all the different things here. I know this was last year, but it just breaks it all down. I mean, it's starting to come to fruition. Mentioning Jamie Dimon. Okay, he was in a powerful women's fortune conference here a couple months ago, and they do finally come around, people. I mean, blockchain is real. This is what he had to say. Stable coins may have a real use case. We have the JPMorgan coin. Tokens will be real. Programmable money. All of that will be real. Jamie Dimon, 7 years ago, told his employees that if you're looking at Bitcoin, if you're talking about Bitcoin at work, I will fire you. Bitcoin is trash. Listen to this.
Bitcoin.
My blockchain is real. Stable coins may have a real use. We have the JPMorgan coin. Tokens will be real. Programmable money, all that will be real. I'm not going to say about Bitcoin because then that's all I'm going to read about in the headlines. So next, and then I get death threats and shit like that. So that stuff like.
So it's not a pet rock, but maybe a pet rock, TBD. But the underlying technology, you think, is...
Yeah, but I've always said that. Blockchain
Yes.
is a technology that we've all been yapping about for 12 years, and it's not fully deployed, because it's hard to deploy blockchain that we all agree on permissions and rules. And I do, we do use it. We use it intraday repo. I think it's going to replace certain systems we all use that are clunky or late or not 24/7. Those are all legitimate complaints. And blockchain may be one of the things that fixes that. Other technologies can fix it too, by the way. It's not the only thing that can fix it. And sometimes it's a solution looking for a problem. We already move money real-time payments. Most of it moves digitally in effect. It runs through AML, KYC, risk systems when it happens. You can't just replace all that with a blockchain and think you're doing what regulators and governments want you to do. So it's a little more complicated than just it's going to replace everything.
Yep, it's going to run in unison. It's going to run beside SWIFT. It's going to run beside the banks. It's going to make the banks more efficient. It's going to make the banks more money, because when things are tokenized running on the blockchain, it costs fractions of a penny, like on the XRP ledger, hint, hint, to send value. And the banks are still going to charge clients for interest rates, for fees, and all the above. And they're going to make a killing because it's only costing them a fraction of a penny, people. That's why that self-custody, our own cryptocurrency and our own private wallets, we consider ourselves our own banks. If I want to send my sister, my mom, my best friend XRP, and I owe them $50 or I owe them $1,000, I can send them that value in XRP in 3 to 5 seconds, and it only costs me a fraction of a penny for me to send XRP to their wallet in 3 to 5 seconds, people. That's what blockchain and digital assets are all about. Okay, JPMorgan CEO Jamie Dimon admits he was wrong and crypto is real. This is that panel that took place yesterday. Listen to this right here.
Skeptical of crypto at one point. You're still
I've
skeptical.
gotten away with no damage so far. Crypto is real. If you mean blockchain, stable coins, you have a JPMorgan deposit coin, you can move stuff, smart contracts are real, all that stuff is real. It will be used by all of us to facilitate better transactions and customer service.
Yep. He spits it out there. So it's a fact. It's a fact, Jack. It is coming around and it's going to get here quick. And the JPM coin or whatever network they use, it's all going to run in unison, and all these wonderful stable coins and blockchains are going to thrive, and we are going to thrive, and it's going to be great. Okay. So announced yesterday, CoinDesk is going to be the sponsor for or the official media partner for Ripple Swell 2025 coming up next week. It says the world's financial elite are heading to New York for Ripple Swell. Over 700 of the world's most influential voices, including leaders from NASDAQ, BlackRock, JPMorgan, and Global Policy, will convene at this two-day gathering. Tune in to CoinDesk Live on November 4th and 5th at 9:30 a.m. to 12 noon Eastern. They are going to be interviewing speakers. They're going to be talking about the event. It's going to be awesome, people. I can't wait to see it myself. Okay, so mentioning the speakers at Ripple Swell, you have Scott Lucas here, JPMorgan, head of markets, digital assets. You have Maxwell Stein, director of digital assets at BlackRock. Tell me they aren't all coming together at Ripple Swell to talk about this realm of digital assets and blockchain technology. It's going to be massive. It is going to be beyond massive. Evernorth, they got this out. You know, we talk about Evernorth. We talk about Treasury and XRP. Well, right here it says that Evernorth has signed a business combination agreement with Armada Acquisition Corp. 2, which is now trading on the NASDAQ under the ticker XRPN. And I think I mentioned this yesterday, but it was written in stone today. And it's tied in with individuals that we know. And look at this. Armada Acquisition Corp. 2 announces ticker symbol to change to XRPN today, October 30th, 2025. It says Armada Acquisition 2, a special purpose acquisition company, or SPAC, sponsored by Arrington XRP Capital Fund. Michael Arrington, best friends with Brad Garlinghouse. Michael Arrington, it was announced, or I went to the Ripple Swell speakers page. Michael Arrington is going to be at Ripple Swell. They today announced that they will change their ticker for its Class A ordinary shares on NASDAQ from AACI to XRPN. In addition, the ticker symbol for its units will change from AACIU to XRPNU, and the ticker symbol for its warrants will change from AACIW to XRPNW. The ticker symbol change will be effective upon the commencement of trading on NASDAQ on October the 30th, 2025. So you can trade it today, representing a key milestone in the company's strategic transformation. This change underscores the company's evolution in the world's leading institutional XRP digital asset treasury company. People, did you hear that? The ticker symbol changes comes on the heels of last week's announcement that Evernorth Holdings, Inc., a newly formed Nevada corporation, has executed a business combination agreement with Armada 2, the business combination agreement, which will result in a new company that has raised over $1 billion in gross proceeds to fund open market purchases of XRP. Quote, as a SPAC sponsor and long-time XRP fanatic, we at Arrington Capital have high conviction in Evernorth's ability to drive meaningful impact and add shareholder value, says Michael Arrington, founder of Arrington Capital and chairman of the board at Armada Acquisition Corp. 2. In recent months, XRP has maintained its prominence in an ecosystem that continues to expand through broad product innovations, a relentless community, and a string of notable new contributors, including Hidden Road, G Treasury, Rail, and Standard Custody. People, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's happening. Believe it or not, it's happening. Okay, Forbes gets this out today. Look, inside Ripple's $180 billion reinvention. We're finally getting positive news about Ripple and XRP. CNBC, Fox Business, all the above are starting to show the XRP ticker and the price of XRP when digital, before it was Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin. Now it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP's on the list, baby. Inside Ripple's $180 billion reinvention. This is Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO at Ripple. I'm going to read it, and it's only going to take a minute or two. Freed from its SEC lawsuit, Ripple, long a blockchain payments company with little actual business, is finally acquiring its way towards a legitimate multi-billion-dollar crypto empire. Yes, we knew it was going to happen. You and I both knew it was going to happen. This lawsuit stifled the technology. We're through that. It's time to build, baby. Lock in. Readers might recall on March 2024 feature on zombie blockchains. That's how we christened at least $50 billion crypto project sustained mostly by speculation rather than any usage. Ripple, with its XRP token and an unfulfilled dream of replacing global bank messaging service SWIFT, topped that list with a market value of $36 billion, but only fees of only $583,000. But lately, Ripple has been on a tear, baby. In private markets, the company's shares now trade between $135 and $170, people. This is pre-IPO. They have not IPO'd yet. Roughly 2 to 3 times higher than at the start of the year, valuing it between $22 billion and $30 billion. For context, that's nearly on par with Circle, the stablecoin issuer Ripple wants to compete with and tried to acquire before it's IPO'd in June, which sits around $34 billion. Circle's stock itself is up 352% from its June 5th IPO. Ripple's token XRP, which does not grant an ownership stake in the company, is up 366% year over year with a market cap of nearly $150 billion. XRP is a token on the XRP ledger. Ripple is a company that uses it. It is not Ripple's token. Ripple is also now a part of the roaring digital asset treasury trend. Multiple firms have announced treasury strategies around XRP in recent weeks, most notably Evernorth, which aims to raise more than $1 billion, and they have done that. I showed you that on yesterday's video. The idea that companies would even consider storing a token created by a company, it was not created by a company, it was gifted to Ripple. It used to be OpenCoin. They changed it to XRP. That has long struggled for business traction, is a great vote of confidence. And I'm putting all these ad libs and all these truths in this article, people. It's not all that surprising given the end of Ripple's 5-year legal battle with the Securities and Exchange Commission. The SEC sued Ripple in 2020, alleging the firm sold XRP as an unregistered security. The resolution cost Ripple a $125 million fine, plus a streak of high-profile acquisitions, including G-Treasury, a treasury management software provider for $1 billion, Hidden Road, a prime brokerage for $1.25 billion, and Rel, a stablecoin payments platform for $200 million. In 2023 and 2024, Ripple also bought custodians Medico for $250 million and Standard Custody for an undisclosed amount. While the XRP ledger may still lag behind more popular blockchains in terms of app usage and developer activity, it is clear Ripple, the company, is a very different beast than it was just a year ago. Quote, sometimes people view change as bad. I think that's actually a sign of health and greatness, especially in emerging technologies, says Joe Nagger, CEO and CIO of crypto hedge fund Feynman Point Asset Management, which is also an investor in Ripple. Ripple is showing thoughtfulness of the capital stack that they weren't able to fully demonstrate because of regulatory overhang he adds. I think it's actually a poster child for what happens when you don't have a very difficult legislative and regulatory environment, and that thoughtfulness makes them different from all other protocols with large treasuries, those that have foundations who lack real leadership and don't know who they are serving. If you ask Brad Garlinghouse, Ripple's CEO, the answer is very clear to him, his shareholders. Nagger thinks the better comp for Ripple today isn't Circle or another blockchain, but Coinbase, which also operates custody and prime brokerage businesses and shares revenue with Circle. What if Ripple were to acquire Coinbase? What if Ripple were to acquire Coinbase? I'm getting it out to the universe. The louder I say it, the further it goes out to the universe, people. Austin King, CEO of crypto trading firm Nomina, has also sold his first company to Ripple in 2019. I actually had a Zoom chat with Austin a few weeks ago. It was a really good chat. It goes even further. Quote, a lot of people in crypto chirp Ripple, but the reality is that they have had incredible foresight. Their technology has been there for a decade. Now their bet, I think, is to find synergies across all of these different businesses, bundling them up into one conglomerate for financial services, baby. Ripple Bank, Ripple Custody, Ripple stablecoins. So the next big question for Ripple is whether it can turn its acquisitions into a unified system that actually drives value back to Ripple's core technology, the XRP ledger. And last week, Brad Garlinghouse said that XRP is the nuts and bolts of Ripple. So it's happening. And if you're doubtful about your investments, and none of this is financial advice, people, I'm getting the breadcrumbs out to you. I'm a crypto teacher. Yesterday when I was interviewed, I kept telling them, I'm a crypto teacher. I'm teaching you about scams. I'm teaching you about the news. I'm getting it out as it breaks. I'm showing you that these banks are finally starting to have their aha moments like we are. And Ripple, behind the scenes, is kicking ass. M&As, they're acquiring businesses, they're acquiring corporations because they're smart. Be sure to subscribe to the James Rule Crypto Show. Have a good one. Trick or treaters tomorrow. Be careful. We'll talk to you soon. And don't forget, I told you so.